mid-1950s, and for young Aborigine Lionel Rose, a special trip to Melbourne's Festival Hall ignites a sporting dream that will catapult him to dizzying heights and the depths of despair. 35 years on, Lionel Rose is still one of Melbourne's best recognised sportsmen. He's been Australian of the Year and been awarded the MBE by the Queen of England. All a far cry from his humble roots in the bush community of Jackson's Track, where he inherited his love of boxing from his father, who was a fairground fighter. Following a glittering amateur career in the ring, Lionel was persuaded to travel to Melbourne to box professionally out of Jack Rennie's stable. From this tiny gym, Lionel Rose embarked on a bittersweet path, from rags to riches and back again. Lionel was a breathtaking bantamweight fighter. He was quick, powerful, and resilient. But what really attracted the fans was his ring presence. His flashing smile and good looks made him a real crowd pleaser. It was his fight against Rocky Gattalari in 1967, the first to go live on national TV in Australia, that put him on the map. Lionel toyed with the challenger, making him go 13 rounds so that he could gain some experience over a long fight. When he tired of the practice, he dispatched his opponent. The Gattalari fight brought Lionel to the attention of the boxing world, and a few weeks after the fight, Jack Rennie received a surprise call from Tokyo that would transform Lionel's life forever.
Okay, thanks for calling.
What do you mean it sounds interesting?
You should have took it.
Hold on. Look, Harada's got to defend his title within the next 2 months. I'd rather do it with number 6 than with number 1. I'll play.
The invitation to Japan to fight for the world title against fighting Harada meant Lionel's first trip abroad. He was accompanied by Jack Rennie, Rennie's wife Shirley, and some fascinating weather conditions.
In Tokyo, I'd had the heaviest snowfall in 17 years. And I'd never seen snowfall, you know. So that was an experience by itself. The next experience was trying to do a road work in it, which I didn't like very much.
On February 27th, 1968, the 19-year-old, still a relative novice, stepped into the ring at Tokyo's Budokan to face a fearsome first-round assault from Harada. He survived, and over 15 punishing rounds, the action ebbed and flowed. At the end, there was little to separate them, and the decision was left to the judges. Lionel and his victorious camp flew back to Essendon Airport, where there was a surprise in store.
I said to Jack, I said, there must be a pop crew up front in the front. We were sitting in economy. And he said, yeah. He said, there must be something going on here. So anyhow, everyone got off, and we're sitting right at the back and a little laughed off, and we just got to jump up and ask. I said, no, you sit down there. And I said, what's the matter? I said, well, there's some people out there want to see you.
250,000 people lined the streets of Melbourne to welcome back their hero. The boy from Jackson's Track, who'd often had to fight prejudice as an Aborigine, was now a national hero. His first defense was back at the Budokan in Tokyo against Takao Sakurai. Despite a visit to the canvas, Lionel won the fight. He was now in demand around the world with some big paydays in prospect. But boxing in the ring was by no means the hardest thing Lionel had to cope with. In his next fight, against Mexico's Chucho Castillo, Lionel struggled to make the weight and narrowly avoided defeat. When the time came for his next defense against Welshman Alan Rudkin, it was an even closer run thing. Steam baths, diuretics and liquid starvation were not enough to reduce his weight. He had to remove his shorts to beat the scales. The wasting process left him badly weakened, and he soon had another problem to cope with.
Beautiful right by Rudkin, but Rose retaliated. It was Rudkin, though, who scored 3 scoring punches to 1.
That fought was a hard fight against Rudkin because I broke my hand in the 3rd round and I had to fight the other 12 rounds with it. Oh, gee, didn't it hurt?
By the end of the 15th, Lionel was out on his feet as Rudkin finished strongly. The champion kept his grip on the crown, but only just. 4 months later, things were even worse. Back at the LA Forum in front of 17,000 screaming Mexicans, he faced hard-hitting Ruben Olivares. Starved again to make the weight, Lionel secretly ate a huge beef stroganoff just before the fight. After 5 rounds, exhaustion, dehydration and stomach cramps left Lionel at the mercy of Olivares. The punch which sent Lionel to the canvas marked a dramatic turning point in his life.
When I lost the title, that's when the good time started. That's when I was allowed to go out to nightclubs and maybe have a girl or two, and, you know, the good things in life that every teenager or every young fellow enjoys.
But the good life exacted a price. When he tried to return to the ring, he found that the magic was gone. At the age of 21, he was a boxing has-been. And without the ring as a taskmaster, Lionel fell prey to his own easygoing nature. Every tragic hero has a flaw. Lionel's was his inability to say no. In a 10-year binge in the 70s, he squandered his fortune, drifting into a life of drinking, drugs, and petty crime. When the money went, so did the friends.
You've got the bill every time.
As time went by, Lionel Rose occasionally appeared on TV as a rather sad, pathetic figure whose heavy drinking often got him in trouble with the law.
We found Rose hiding in a cupboard in a classroom. The constable said Rose at first told...
A spell in jail finally brought him to his senses, and the fighter decided to fight back. Two elements have helped his rehabilitation: his reunion with his son Michael and estranged wife Jenny, and his work with children, especially Aborigines, to whom he's still a hero. Lionel's life now has a new direction, and if he does have any regrets, he hides them with that old flashing smile.
I'm happy, yeah. I'm happy.
The man whose grin could light up an arena lives in hope that he'll be remembered not as the fool who threw it all away, but simply as Lionel Rose, the boxer.